And now that we're bound up, remember to remove the bind plug from the receiver before you turn the receiver back on. So with the wing that we've programmed and the bind that we've just done, having done nothing else, we're going to turn on the receiver and just see what's working here, okay? So I'm going to wiggle the sticks. We'll see what works. We've got ailerons working. We have no flaps working. We have elevator working and rudder working back there. You can see it. And nothing else should be active because we haven't set anything else yet. Just the 4 aileron, rudder, elevator, and not even spoilers. So that's where we are, out of the box, just after the bind, nothing else established. Now the programming starts. Now that the receiver is bound to the transmitter, the first thing we need to do is to set up and turn on the flaps or spoilers, the glide path control that when the radio is shipped, it comes turned off. So any radio that you get with a DX or Spektrum radio will not have this activated out of the box. You always have to go to Camber system and tell it what input you want to use to activate your flaps or spoilers. It's very simple to do. You can click on this. If you want your flaps to be activated by the throttle stick, you just get it blinking and turn the switch. I'll show you. You can hit other switches here just to make sure. But if you want the throttle switch to be your throttle stick to be your input, you simply move the stick and it turns to throttle. For this demonstration, we're going to make the Camber system input the left lever, and we're going to say OK to that. So you select it and then scroll down. Now it still won't do anything. Here's the airplane, it's all turned on. If I move the lever up and down, still nothing happens. That's because there's no values for the throw for any of the surfaces that are going to be controlled by the Camber system or by your glide path control switch. So you have to add some values here for the flaps, ailerons, and tips if you want to be able to control all of them. So for up, I always use positive numbers, and a good place to start is 50%. I'll explain more about this later, but dial in 50% up and 50% down as a starting point for your flaps. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is the offset and how this works to make sure everything's centered. That's the reason why you want to do this first. For giggles, we're going to go ahead and come down here to ailerons, and we're going to put 50% up and down throw available for everything. Actually, take that back. We're going to go to 25% up and down for the ailerons and tips. You may ultimately want to make this 0, but for now we'll just have a value in here. Sorry, I went the wrong way. But you have to have a value in here to get any movement whatsoever from your Camber system or your landing glide path control inputs. This is important. This is a big trip up. A lot of guys hit this and they just can't figure it out from here. So there we have some values in. Now if we go over to the airplane and we move the flap stick, you'll see that everything moves because there's values in there for everything. Okay? For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to put the values for up and down travel on the flaps to 75% in both directions. And I'm going to use an offset of about 40%, and I'm going to have my input set to my left lever. There are no flight modes set up here right now except for the one, so Launch A is the flight mode that we're in right now. And since there are no other flight modes, we don't have to worry about assigning this to any other ones. But as you set up your airplanes and set up your Camber system, I highly recommend that you make sure that this flap setup is set up in equivalent to every flight mode that you have programmed into your airplane. It helps make sure that you don't leave something out, or you have all your systems are available to you.